Welcome to the People Behind Energy podcast, where we dig deep into the stories, science, and people shaping our planet one layer at a time. I'm your host, Troy Tittlemeyer, and today we're cracking open a topic that's foundational to the geology world and beyond: geological societies. Whether you're a seasoned geologist, a curious student, or just someone who's ever picked up a cool rock and wondered, where does this come from? This episode is for you. Geological societies aren't just clubs for rock lovers. They're the backbone of the geoscience community, driving research, education, public awareness, and policy. Joining us today are two incredible guests. Dani Bartels, she's the editor for the South Texas Geological Society, and we have the president himself, Jack Sackrider. From organizing conferences and publishing groundbreaking research to inspiring the next generation of earth scientists, geological societies play a vital role in connecting people to the planet. So grab your hiking boots, and let's journey into the heart of the geoscience community, the South Texas Geological Society. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. We are live with the PBE podcast at the South Texas Geological Society, People Behind Energy podcast, and we're talking to the people behind the South Texas Geological Society today. Please introduce yourself, and we'll just dive in to the society.
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm Dani Bartels. I am a geologist, graduate from UTSA. I'm also editor at the South Texas Geological Society. My main role is to help communicate out different events, publicity, different things that are going on in our society and industry locally and just a bit outside Texas regions. So you'll see me. I'm the one who's posting all of those flyers you see on LinkedIn and in the emails. I'm the one who's doing that behind the scenes.
Let's go behind the scenes.
That's right. Don't forget to like and share. So I'm Jack Sackrider. I'm the current president of STGS. Also UTSA grad and
Geology.
Yes, sir. Geology. And I work in consulting with aggregates, mines, and the construction industry. So we can talk about that.
Is that like up 35? There's mine up there.
Whole I-35 corridor, tons of aggregate mines, and then,
that's you.
Yeah, well, we're helping we're helping them do better.
Nice.
So
you're gonna turn it into a golf course one day?
I mean, that'd be cool. There's a lot of really cool things you can do with a quarry. I've done some presentations on it, but just some great examples. Six Flags, the whole rim, all of that used to be an old Martin Marietta quarry, rock quarry. The zoo is an old quarry from years and years ago.
I didn't realize that.
The zoo outcrops are legit.
Well, next time you go to the zoo, those outcrops are a little too
so is the one at Texas.
Angular sometimes, but
some outcrop.
Yeah.
For real.
A lot of really cool things.
So man, as I didn't know I was getting to sit down with El Jefe.
Yeah.
President himself.
Yeah.
How did that go? Tell me a little bit about your story on how you even became president of the STGS.
Well, it's a long story, but basically John Long came to me and said, "Hey, we really need somebody to run for president. Are you interested?" And I said, "Oh, John."
Classic response.
Yeah, John. Okay, I'll do it.
Because I love you.
Right, yeah. All right, I'll run. There's two people running, right? He's like, yeah, we have to have two people. Okay, good. They'll elect the other guy. I'll be all right.
He is such a headhunter, John Long.
Man, he's the best.
Such a great one.
Yeah,
Thank God for him.
But no, I mean, joking aside, I got involved with STGS when I was a student at UTSA.
Okay.
That's actually when I met Dani. We were in, what class was that? Do you remember?
Geophysics.
That's right. It was geophysics. Yeah.
You had geophysics in undergrad, or that was master?
We did. It was undergrad, and it was a weird year because structure. No, there was one class that was overbooked. Like they had too many people signed up.
No kidding.
And I don't remember the whole story, but basically they were like, "Hey, if you don't want to take this class, is there anybody that's interested in taking geophysics instead?" And they'll just match it up for the credit.
They were getting the credit for it because we would have missed the time frame for structure and would have had to wait like another year. I think they were only offering it by semester. Yeah, that's how it always
was. Some weird.
So we got to do geophysics, which is neat because usually that's only meant for the upper class, like master students at that grade level.
So, were you
it's neat to
doing
do
like
that.
gravity, magnetics?
Yeah,
like,
we were learning all about it. You know, of
Or you
course, it
actually
started with theory, learning
Yeah.
about all the theory, which was very cool. But Dr. Weisling was the professor, and he has a lot of experience in the application consulting with
nice.
geophysics.
He has his own tools. Did you guys get to go shoot data?
Well, we got
Yeah,
to
we
do, we
had a few
did.
things. We
Yeah,
had the
several
GPR.
We got to do
The winners, 4
seismic.
points.
Yeah.
Right on.
Electrical resistivity we got to do. He
Electrical
had EM.
resistivity.
Mhm.
That's a good one.
That is a good
was
one.
fun. Yeah, and we did it on campus. Apparently, there's multiple karst zones underneath campus
Oh,
in
yeah.
different areas.
It's
So
whole
we had to
areas
go
like
and map
that.
those
Yeah.
and then utilize
With
the
ground
the
resistivity?
seismic.
Ground resistivity is going to tell you what about the karsting environment?
You can, with it, you can tell where you, especially where you have voids. So the more dense rock, limestone, and that's going to be more resisted than open air or clay filled voids or something like that. So you can kind of see this contrast. It's a great tool. One of the things Dr. Weisling did years ago was he was working with it's the cave out in Georgetown, Interspace Caverns. He was working with the team at Interspace Caverns.
Oh, when they first discovered it by accident?
Because that's how the cave was discovered. Yeah. I don't know if he was involved then, but he came back later and helped them find some new rooms using the 3D.
I didn't realize he had contributed to that. That's really amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. So that ended up being a really transformative class for me, and it's been something we've been able to use. I've been able to use at work. We've done
it's really relative, especially these days. I've seen it in almost every industry, especially oil and gas, environmental. And I was in geotechnical as well as in the mining. We used a lot of resistivity in the mountain range, and then also ground penetrating radar to look for voids.
Nice.
GPR is fun.
All right. So you guys are geophysicists, you're geologists, you're full of energy, full of life ahead. And now you're dedicating your time and attention, not getting paid, right? This is just out of the goodness of your hearts, the whatever spare time you have. Why do you contribute to the STGS?
That's a good question. I'm gonna tell you the truth of why I started coming back, and then I'm gonna tell you why I kept coming back. So why I started coming back was basically, my boss, my leadership was like, hey, we want you to go get involved with STGS. And I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, it's a nice group of people. That's a long drive into the club, but whatever, it's fine. They want me to do it. I'm in, I'm doing it. So that's when I got back involved. Sorry, STGS. But why I stayed was because I mean, at my core, I'm a nerd. I love geology. But really, I love these people, because you come to these events and you just can build and feel everybody's energy on how excited they are about the science and the profession, and, genuinely wanting to make our industry better, wanting to do the work for the next generation through scholarships, through mentorship, things like that. So I came back with the least of intentions and motivations, and stayed because it's just a great organization. The people are great. Alf is pretty great. Over there.
Don't call him out. He's not over there.
He's not over there. But no, we're not getting paid financially, but there are so many rewards just being involved in this industry, getting to meet these people, interact with these people, and do something that's going to, make a difference, hopefully, in the industry, or at least on one individual, and through scholarship, that's a direct, and impact that we can have.
As editor of STGS, and you hear the passion, right? You hear this emotion coming through, and everybody has it. I've been in West Texas, I've been in Arizona, I've been here. I've been a part of all of those societies, and it's so true. Everybody that's in it, they get it, and they have that energy.
Absolutely.
How do you convey that and inspire people who haven't felt that or don't even quite know geology even? And how do you get them here? How do we grow this society? How do we get the support it needs so that we can build really healthy young mentoring programs, right? Support the teachers. Like what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, so I also found out about STGS as a college student. And I decided that I wanted to be involved because I want to learn where my industry was taking me.
Yeah.
It was that just hooked me into it. And it was because of the diversity that I found in the society. It wasn't just one industry, because as a college student, I wasn't sure which direction to take my career.
Sure.
And usually as a student learning, you're just learning these foundational things, but where are you going to go with your career? Where are you going to go with your job? And what are the jobs? But finding people who were in such diverse industries, and then learning that you really don't have to stand still. You don't have to choose a niche. You can actually, grow. Geology spans across so many disciplines in academia and science and physics, chemistry, and all those pieces come together in these different disciplines. In the oil and gas industry, in the geotechnical and structural, there's a lot of academia and chemistry and research, and even planetary science has now taken off tremendously in the geology world, where we're studying the different rocks in space as they come through. So it's those that enlighten me. I just got so inspired by just conversations. I realized that these people are just genuinely interested and passionate about geology in their field. And just like Jack said, we were a bunch of nerds, but we get to go outside and do cool stuff. But it is a very big nerdy thing. And that really satisfies that science part of me that I really enjoy, as well as the outdoor activity. And so for me, I try to communicate that to the younger crowd about why it was important to me, and what have I benefited from it. And I would go back to the schools and I would communicate what I learned from STGS. And one of the biggest things was just the network itself. I didn't realize how important it was for me, just growing friendships, and how that has lasted into my professional career.
That's right.
And I can't say enough that most of the people, I think I can count on my fingers, at least 5 that I've met, have actually helped me retrieve jobs. Even a recent one, which I can't say out loud yet,
but
nice. I just got a recent,
we're going to see this on LinkedIn.
Yes, it'll be official sometime soon. Wow. But I do want to thank STGS, because it was through membership and through activity at network that I got to learn about this, understand more about it, became passionate, and network definitely helped me to get there. So that is what you want to see from these societies. A second point I would recommend is going outside your sphere. In school, it's a little microcosm. You're seeing this community, but it's not the same thing you're going to experience out there. So, opening those doors and seeing what it's like in the real world, that exposure is so essential to just being able to communicate to these professionals who are out there. How do we talk to them about what we know? It's difficult at first until you're actually discussing it and you realize, this is just something they're interested in, and they have experience in it.
Right.
So contributing to that over time has been really helpful, especially during interviews, such as these ones, but also in the job market. It's been great.
How long do you plan on being editor? Because I'm not sure how many people want to be that.
It's a 20-year commitment.
20-year commitment.
It's a lifetime contract, tenured. So I have some goals. There have been some previous editors who have done outstanding jobs to try to bring us to the next level, modernize this. We have grown so much in this society that the new crowd coming in doesn't resonate as much as what we've been doing with our outreach. And so I'd like to bring that into a new level, which had already been started at the previous board. Shelby and Alyssa and John have all communicated to build a new website for us. More fluid, more simple, easier to navigate. So you can find those items. And so we're building that out right now. And I'd like to incorporate lots of new things, incorporate some social media in there, incorporate some video, really have that stand out now, because I think that is really where a lot of the communication, advertising, marketing can be sought at. So that is something I'd like to learn, to build. And before I pass it to someone else that is not completely fully, I guess, laid out, I'd like to know it enough to just give someone a password to go and log in and be able to just push a button, make it simple. I don't want their life to be behind the scenes always. I think it'd be great for them to contribute in the bulletin and the website, but also to really be part of the entire process. Communicate it, maybe if they want to be part of the marketing and be the voice behind it, such as what we're doing right now.
What's the theme of the board this year? What are you guys kind of shaking out, and what are your plans to what are you accomplishing this year?
One thing we're focusing on is the general fund. So the STS, the way STGS is organized, basically there's the general fund is like the operating fund for the society itself. That's where the funds come from for these luncheons. That's where we give sponsorships for events like the Hydro Geo Workshop.
Wow.
Sometimes that's where, you know, the fund that we use to host our own happy hours if we don't have a sponsor, things like that. So what the society ends up paying for, that's where that comes from. And then there's the scholarship fund, which is its own separate entity. The scholarship fund is, you know, you know, it's a great fund. It's been growing for years. It's been managed well. You know, it's in very good shape. We can want to continue to keep growing that.
Nice.
The general fund, what we've kind of found out is that there are very limited opportunities to grow that fund. You know, we get, for the most part, these luncheons are essentially break even or even sometimes a little bit of a loss on the cost. And then we have certain events like the Christmas party is a big, the Christmas party is typically actually another fundraiser for the scholarship fund. So we get some money for the general fund through membership and a little bit of royalties from some of the older bulletins that have been included in publications through the Bureau of Geology.
That's cool.
And but what we're finding is like, it's like, oh well, where does the money come from to build this, you know, to build this fund? So wanting to focus on that, looking at a few options on a few strategies on how we can do that, fundraising opportunities. Field trips are one of those that grow the general fund, but to make those field trips successful, and really most fundraising events successful, really relies on sponsors.
Yeah.
You know, not on the attendees.
Right.
So,
which goes back to what you're doing on the website and getting recognition, right? Getting their logos everywhere.
right.
Getting people to actually show up to the website to look at things, and you're getting that data point where you can go to them and say, hey, we do have some legit traffic, geoscientists that are looking for your solutions. Sponsor the homepage, sponsor this page, go to the general fund. This allows us to do more things, right, across the board.
Right.
So that's kind of what the motive is this year, huh?
Yeah. So that's one of the things that we're trying to focus on and experimenting with. A few changes to how we're organizing or structuring the Christmas party this year. So hopefully that's going to contribute and help grow the general fund while still also contributing greatly to the scholarship fund.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see how that goes. It could be a complete disaster. If it is, it's my fault, not anyone else.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think so. I really think so. So I think, you know, just things like that is something that we've been focusing on. Also growing membership and outreach. And, you know, the board met last night. I was not able to attend. And so Dani can probably elaborate a little bit, but, you know, one of the topics that came up and had come up before, and I think really want to make movement on, is establishing a membership subcommittee or a committee on membership and outreach. So, you know, a group of people, passionate people who are ready to, you know, really want to spend some focused time and effort on growing membership. What do we want our membership to look like? Who are the people that we should be, you know, seeking out? Exactly. And why do we want those people? You know, what
the motivation behind that was essential. I think we're seeing that the San Antonio region, and especially within STGS, the demographic is growing and changing. You know, initially the history of STGS was founded upon the oil and gas operators. And that's been a really great standing foundation that we've grown off and has been so successful. But there is so much more in geology in this region, in South Texas, in San Antonio itself. I think that we're forgetting to touch and open doors for. We have the geotechnical geologists, we have the structural geologists, we have people who are in the research departments, we have the academia and the scientists, and we really want to make this more of a broadened outreach. And who are these people and how can they get involved and understand the benefit behind STGS? Because a lot of our students are graduating in different tracks now. And I've been looking at this at UTSA specifically, just to see, you know, what have they developed since I've left. And they do have tracks, and they have these tracks in the environmental route. They have tracks in the geophysical route. They have tracks in hydrogeology.
Tracks, meaning like a specialty for your degree.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they are training towards these specialities so that when they go out there, they have either certifications or at least a more foundational role to kind of get into that direction that they're trying to plan their career path in.
Yeah.
Rather than just having a general foundational, like most of us graduate with this.
Right.
And then we decided which direction to go or tried, internships as we were going along. But these tracks are really kind of guiding the students in these directions, which just kind of opened my eyes to all these other disciplines that are here. And I feel like we can definitely bring in a lot more of that industry here to STGS because we are so diverse already in itself.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And recognizing them, finding the people who are there and partnering with their societies. We have the Karst Society and there's the ASCE, this like civil engineers, but also the geologists within them that come through. So these societies we can partnership we do with like the oil and gas societies with AADE and SPE.
AAPG, we're affiliate of AAPG, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there are affiliates as well. Yeah. So it's just, bringing in these other societies, these other geologists that are here to kind of broaden the scope because we've seen a lot of the geologists who graduate are going to those other directions. And just giving those opportunities to join the society and why it's important still to
go do podcasts with all these people. You should just take a microphone and camera.
I honestly think the first step in the membership committee is to find out who are the leaders in these groups. Who, we know some of the leaders in oil and gas, we know, but who are the leaders in the karst and hydrogeology? I think, Geary is one of them. He's a member. So he probably knows some of the, up and coming students and others to kind of grab that crowd. We can get more of that crowd here.
Yeah.
And who are the other people who are kind of leading the charge in the geotechnical world? They know more about the civil and the engineering and, you work in that field as well. So that's who we want to start to kind of grab the attention of. We think it's broadening the spectrum and letting them know that they're invited. We want them to be here so we can diversify and learn from them too.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, and none of that's to say that we're trying to get away from oil and gas.
You can't.
Right.
It's too big.
It's not even worth trying. But just recognizing that's one part of kind of our larger group, and so trying to see how what can we offer those other industries. The networking is a great thing we can point to. The presentations that we do at the luncheons are amazing. So yeah, it's a first step, and there are a lot of steps to come that we don't even really know what they are yet. But
you got the website design, that upgrade, that's a big deal. That's something to be motivated about. Obviously focus on the general fund, the scholarship fund's good. Those are two, just focus on that, nail it.
Yeah. And those are those have been years long in the process. The website started 3 years ago. I think that process did.
The upgrade to the website is 3 years old.
Yeah, the board moves slow.
Our secret.
We're a lot like government.
Well, we're gonna get it this year. This is our year.
The board.
I'm gonna make it happen.
The board moves slow. That's okay.
But that's why when the new board members come in with the new renewed energy, the renewed inspiration, we're hoping to take these steps they took and really put them into action.
Yeah.
And that's what my goal is personally this year, is to take, maybe this is a growth period. And I think that's a perfectly great way to look at sometimes, where are we right now? Do we need to reach another point so we can really have a platform to jump off of, explode out of? And I think that what we're doing right here in this particular year is taking all of these growth patterns they've had and really starting to implement them. We're starting to see everything, all the ideas, all these call to actions that are trying to get through the door, and let's just do it. Let's get them through the door. And then, start off because, coming up, actually, I don't know if you pointed out, we're going to have our centennial, and that's going to be in 4 years. And that's going to be a really exciting, because this STGS was founded in 1929.
Right.
So few years we're going to be at 100 years old.
Right. Now that's cool. We can go grab some core from 100-year-old oil.
We're going to get some fun stuff. Yeah. I mean, let's throw some ideas on the table for that, because I think we should have a really cool celebration.
It always will.
Historical contents. Get some people out here who've been it the longest. Al?
The the STGS is part of the Southwest section of the AAPG, or is it Gulf Coast section AAPG? It's Gulf Coast.
I think it's Gulf Coast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gulf Coast. Okay. That would be perfect. They can do like the Gulf Coast annual at the same time. We have the 100-year anniversary, like make it a 4 or 5 day, big event. We got plenty of years to prepare for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Updated website, start telling people stories, right? All
Yeah,
these
absolutely,
heavy
yeah.
hitters in planetary, hydrology, oil and gas. Tell that story.
I'd
that
love
you-
to. Yeah,
you
let's make this
see.
timeline. I'd love to have the website drawn out well enough that we have just a really nice pictograph of the history. You can click into a decade, kind of see photos and just really open up that door, that we've been having trouble being able to showcase, where we've been and who made this group and how we can continue this legacy into the future.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be something.
It's going to be something.
We're going to be along for the ride.
Absolutely.
And that network, like you mentioned, the network, it comes back. It just circles itself back. It circles itself back. And you're just true. You're true to the science, true to, you're a good person. It all circle back. The network will circle back and take care of you. It's amazing.
It really does. It does. As a student, I was really appreciative that I received one of the scholarships for field camp.
Nice.
They were able to send me to South Carolina for hydrogeology field camp. I chose that because we had done so much mapping in Dr. Cannon's class for structural and other courses as well. I didn't want to go and do the same thing. And I hadn't taken any classes, at least, in water. And I knew that was essential where I'm going to be living and doing work. So I wanted to have some background. And they just took that. STGS thought that was inspiring to try to do something different out of the box, and they paid for my field camp completely.
That's awesome.
Entirely. And I just
thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars. Oh my gosh. And I've been feeling I want to give back to that. So getting back here and kind of broadening and communicating back out to the students has been so fun to tell them I was where you are and look at me now, still growing. But has been so successful within this society to help me get to where I am in my career.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we get to do with scholarships is one of the best things this society does, is because, that's direct help, that's direct support to the next generation. So
with the scholarship fund, is there money available to like get the 5th and 6th grade teachers all together for a day and talk about the society and like what we do to help them with their grades, right? Help them on their tests. Because in Texas, it's 5th and 6th grade. They start testing on geology.
Right.
So the 5th and 6th grade teachers should really know that subject, right?
Right. Yeah, no. So the way the scholarship fund is set up, it has very strict rules on what it can spend money on and how much.
Okay.
So really there are the we are with the scholarship fund, we're limited to those scholarships that we give out.
Got it.
That is something that the general fund could do
Nice.
and does, to some degree, just not as much as we'd like. So yeah, that's another great reason to want to grow the general fund is for things like that, for that kind of support and outreach. Where
that thing's still falling.
It's all right. I got it.
These microphones.
There we go.
Stands.
It's good. We'll
give a shout out
just a little
whoever,
like crank.
I'm gonna blame Amazon on that one.
But I love your point, because there are so many points of outreach that we overlook sometimes. We miss. We think of the where did that even start in your mind? Is it just, a career that came up, or were you always playing with rocks your whole life, And I can absolutely say that I was always playing with rocks my whole life. I remember the first time I got a rock. I remember it because my sister was like, "What are you doing?" And we went to the aquarium and we could pick out our prize at the aquarium in Corpus Christi. And she got this like stuffy with jewels and stuff. And I went and I got a ring that had an unpolished rock. It was green and it had these like veins through it.
What?
And it was this ring that had this green rock that had veins.
Was it serpentinite?
I think it might have been like a malachite. I wish I had the ring. I'm sad. I don't have it, but I still remember it. And I brought it home. I was so proud of this really ugly ring to anyone else's eyes. And I was like, this is amazing.
How old were you?
I'd had to be at least 7.
Wow.
Yeah. And I just love the raw earth of things rather than just this polished plasticity that my sister was more into that than I was. And not that anything wrong with either direction, but that's just where I was called to. And I remember telling, and in an interview I had recently, actually, You know, how are you a steward to your industry? And so everyone's a steward in some ways. You know, we're working with our earths, and in order to continue working with, you know, getting resources, we also have to maintain and protect them.
That's right.
So one of the things I used to do, which wasn't very popular, was have a beach cleanup birthday, because in Corpus Christi in October they would have beach cleanups.
That's one of my favorite events.
I would have my birthday party at the beach. It's a beach party, but we would do a cleanup, and I'd have maybe three friends show up. But I had a good time. We'd pick up trash. I felt great, and then we'd just go hop in the beach because it's still warm in Corpus. So, you know, I didn't realize that you could make a career from this at all. I didn't know that there was jobs out for this.
You didn't have uncles. You didn't have anybody that was
nobody
tied to
was
geology.
in an industry that was field or environmental or geologist or oil and gas, except for my soccer coach when I was 14 years old, and he was a seismologist in the oil and gas field in Corpus Christi.
Whoa.
And he's actually was part of the board in the Corpus Christi board. I looked him up when I became a geologist. I was like, "Do you remember me, Coach?" And so he's retired, but I remembered him, and I'm like, "Can we just talk? Well, you know, I'm interested in this. I didn't realize, you know, that was a thing I could do. And then I was a girl. I didn't know that was a thing I could do as a girl either. So, you know, the outreach to the younger students to enlighten them with these career paths that can be achieved by anybody from anywhere is so valuable, I think.
Absolutely.
And we did actually do a teacher from an elementary school reached out to us. She just wanted on her own volition to have more substance in her classroom for their geology. I think it was Earth Week. And we volunteered, and I got one of the other society members during the happy hour, and I was like, "You're in? Let's do it tomorrow." So we went to this school. It was 3rd and 4th graders. We spent 5 hours each classroom revolving in and out.
Oh my gosh.
And I taught about more of the geology of mountain building, and we brought Play-Doh and taught them how it squishes up
You're talking
and how
about
it folds.
tectonics.
Tectonics,
Yeah,
the
5th graders.
Yeah, she said that. I asked her. They were talking about subduction. They were talking about continent movements.
That wasn't until 6th or middle school.
They started it in 3rd and 4th.
That's awesome.
And so I made it, you know, a bit more simplified, but, you know, using the hands-on Play-Doh that had 2 different colors to see the folds in it, and everyone's mounting when they squish it up looks so different, and they didn't like it at first. They thought it's not pointed and sharp, and I was like, I guarantee you, there's a lot of mountains out there that look like droopy. They have like hangovers. They are, you know, you know, so all of their ideas were correct. Yeah, as long as they understood that when you push it, how it builds up and how it starts to fold onto itself. And that's really, you know, what we're trying to get across. So that was a lot of fun. And I was really appreciative that she had that idea, because we haven't really been promoting it, but it's something we should.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's those kind of things that stick, because, you know, thinking about, well, where did my geology career start? And I think,
where did it start?
I think I first really got interested in when I went to the Austin Gem and Mineral Show in like 5th grade or 6th grade, something like that. You know, it was
Great
like a
place to be.
It was like a class field trip, and, you know, parents sent me with like $5 in a lunchbox, or, you know, right, and just walking around. I remember very vividly they had an exhibit of all the fluorescent minerals. So you like walk in and look at them, and they turn the lights off, and I'm like,
cool.
oh, that's cool. And then and then a lot of vendors, because, you know, they're just all kinds of minerals, things like that. But I bought, with my $5, I bought a piece of purple fluorite.
Nice.
And I still have it.
No kidding.
Yeah, I still have it.
That's
I keep it on my shelf.
amazing. Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. It was just like, this is so cool. I didn't know any of this, you know, existed. And science going. And it's interesting, you know, you didn't have any parents or anything in the sciences or geology.
How about you?
Same. You know, my dad was a lawyer. My mom was a MBA accountant. Their parents, my dad's parents, were both school teachers. My mom's parents, her dad was in the career Air Force.
Wow.
You know, no science anywhere. So I was like, okay, well, you know, all that came from school, and just, you know, and a, you know, a home that was encouraging, and
did you have a soccer coach that was a seismologist?
No, but I had a basketball coach who was a lawyer, and also my dad, and that I'm surprised I ended up here, because the opportunity, but no, just school. Wow. What we got to learn in school, the opportunities there, you know, when you get to choose electives and things like that, you know, I kind of stumbled into, in our high school, we had like a marine science class. And
Nice.
and it was kind of half geology, half
Oceanic,
biology, right? Yeah, because
yeah.
it's one huge system that's tied together.
That's right.
So just in that, in high school, there were 2 levels of that, and that's when we did beach cleanup every year. That was my favorite field trip.
Did you go to high school here or
Round Rock, Texas?
Round Rock?
Yeah, so
Okay.
just north of Austin.
Yeah.
And so, and then that kind of built, just because of that interest from the fluorite and the work that we got to do in the marine science, at UT, I was I went in as an economics major and got out of that as fast as I could and fell into geography.
Okay.
But I minored in geology because I was like, well, geology is just cool,
That's right.
And so so I did that. And
UT Austin.
UT Austin, yes.
Cool.
Yeah. And so and then when I got out, I went and was doing like maintenance and leasing at an apartment complex. And because it was 2011.
Okay.
And it was not a great time to
Yeah,
get a
'cause
job in any market, but
2012 was just around the corner though, where it was like record prices in oil and gas.
right. And so after about a year from that, I got a call from a friend who said, "Hey, I know you're not doing anything in your industry, you bum. You want to come interview here, right?" and so I
What
did.
a friend.
Right, yeah. And it was great. And it was the best move I'd ever
And so
made.
what was the job?
That it was at Westward. So
Oh, wow.
doing the consulting with aggregates and construction and stream
Wow.
mining. And so this whole
Wow, so you've
industry,
been there?
yeah, I've been there
Over
since
10 years.
2013.
Wow,
Yeah.
way to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's been awesome. But a whole industry in geology that I never knew existed.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of conceptually I should have, but you know, it's like you don't necessarily, most people that aren't geologists don't think about where pavement comes from and asphalt and the stuff that builds their house.
That's
and,
right.
all that. And so it's the same with oil and gas. Most people is like, oh yeah, I get my gas, but what about all the other things?
How does it come to be?
Right. But what about all the other products that I
found?
use that are, related?
Petroleum based. Yeah.
Exactly.
So does Westward donate and are they part of the STGS? Do they do a general fund anything for these ideas?
I'm working on it.
Nice.
Yeah, working on it. So
good answer.
But what they do and have done for years have been very generous, letting me, come and participate and
be
spend
the president
time,
of the society.
spend time to be the president, to come.
So who was the mentor at work that said, "Hey, go to the STGS"? Was he a geologist?
Yeah, he's a geologist. So the president of our company is Tommy Matthews, and he's a Trinity grad geologist. Yeah, he worked for Vulcan Materials, big construction aggregate mining company.
Does he come to the lunches?
Yeah, no, he hasn't. But I mean, he's a busy dude. Yeah. So that's why he sent me. So I'm here. Right. But yeah, great opportunity. You talk about a passionate guy. About geology, and so it's been a great time working, learning from him. The culture we have at Westward is amazing, really supportive, even aggressively so, pushing me out of my comfort zone. Like, hey, you're going to go to this conference and you're going to talk. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, yeah, you are.
Wow. Who makes a slide deck?
Yeah, me.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been great. And, this whole industry I didn't know existed.
Well, I think that's
right
one,
into it.
Some of the points that you were making, Troy, is that where are the jobs and how can we understand, give those options out to the students or to the younger crowd? What does a geologist do? What, kind of work, what kind of jobs, and I think that just to touch on your point, these tracks, one of them I saw, didn't have an oil and gas track. There was no petroleum track. And I think that kind of fell through, as the mentality of oil and gas in one period was, that it was almost negative. And we've been trying to change that status, change that mentality, that really none of these are negative at all.
That's right.
We are all impacting and utilizing these resources that are essential to progression and maintenance of our way of life. That's not going to stop. And so part of that is understanding how we can continue to use it in a sustainable way, in a protective way, but also realize this is where our future is heading. So how can we get that mentality back? I went into mining initially as my first job. And, if you think about it, people think that mining, we blow the heads off of mountains, we dig giant holes, we pollute. And, actually that is the case at first, right? Back in the 1900s, that was the case. And
Yep.
so now going into it, there's a lot of regulations, but outside that, they're seeing where the issues were, the problems started,
Yeah.
and we're like, we're not going to stop. Instead of stopping, we're going to continue and fix and remediate. And people hear those words, they're like, okay, yeah, what does that mean? It's not going to do anything. But I've been there and I did it.
That's right.
And we've seen we're using the old tailings from these old mines where they didn't have the knowledge, the technology yet to understand that some of these still have active critical minerals that we can pull from.
Nice.
And where I was, we didn't get the go ahead from our owners to even start until we cleaned up someone else's mess and ensured that it wouldn't continue, and ensured that we got workers that were local, and ensured that we had people who were working within the United States. It had a certain percentage. We wanted to build it out the right way. And I was really happy about that type. And it's still very successful right now. And who knew about those jobs? Who knew about it?
We got to wrap it up. So what do you got?
Well, the tailings is really interesting as an example because there are so many different types of geologists that you need on a project like that. You need, in a mining setting, you need a structural geologist, you need exploration geologists, you need hydrologists to work on recovering the brines and things like that. Right. And then you need what else am I forgetting?
We had one of our
geophysicists, geochemists, just in one operation, you could have 7 different disciplines of geology.
That's right.
So you can really find what you're successful at in geology in those pieces. So thank you for bringing up the school. I think that's something we don't want to overlook. I want to bring that back in. Outreach. Tell me, where do your kids go to school? Start listing them. We will reach out to the teachers. We'll get some volunteers to go out there and do some, geology day.
Well, thank you guys both for donating your time, running the STGS, providing a vision for the future, right? Without a vision, it's just a nightmare, right? You can't plan anything, right? You got to have a vision, and then you got to have people that are boots on the ground executing the day-to-day to make that vision a reality. And you guys are doing that. So I commend that. Thank you for sharing your time and attention today. We're out with the PBE podcast.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's go out.